Hi, I'm Anne-Marie from brambleberry.com and soapqueen.com. Thanks so much for joining me on today's episode of Soap Queen TV. I'm going to show you how to do an advanced cold process recipe that looks like this. Are you curious how I made this? Well, watch on and find out. So the thing that makes this project unique is this vertical mold from brambleberry.com. It's a unique mold that allows you to make dual colored soaps using a special divider that comes with the mold. The mold also is unique in that you don't have to line it. Yeah, you leak a little bit of soap out of the edges, but hey, we're soap makers. We don't mind our soaps looking well loved and well used. However, if you really want to keep your mold in totally pristine condition, you can use freezer paper to line your mold, but I don't. If you have never made cold process soap before, please stop and watch the first 4 episodes on making cold process soap on soapqueen.tv. Today's recipe is a 4-pound recipe that is just an effervescent, citrusy, yummy scent. It uses Yuzu fragrance oil and 10-fold orange essential oil. 10-fold orange essential oil means that it's been redistilled literally 10 times so that the essential oil actually lasts in cold process soap. If you've ever made cold process soap with a straight 1-fold essential oil, which is your normal orange essential oil, you'll know that orange essential oil doesn't normally last in cold process soap. But this 10-fold essential oil from brambleberry.com does. The first thing we're going to do is grease our mold with a little bit of cyclomethicone. This is a silicone product that does not saponify into your soap recipe. It helps removing the soap easier at the end. Now you can also use mineral oil as well. Safety first. I've already prepared the lye water and mixed up the oils ahead of time. Before we dive into our soap making fun, we need to pre-mix our colorant. This is a neon colorant from brambleberry.com called Fizzy Lemonade. Take 9 milliliters of oil from your pre-mixed oils, then do 1 teaspoon of Fizzy Lemonade. Wet this down. If you turn on your little mini mixer now, you will poof, get yellow dust all over the place. So make sure this is mixed up well. Turn on your little mini mixer, get all of those little bubbles and everything out. Now set this aside until it's time to add the colorant. Now it's time to safety up. I've already got my gloves on, but gotta protect those eyes. So goggles on, this is a non-negotiable. My lye water is about 120, as are my oils. I'm gonna pour my lye water down the stick blender, just a little trick to try and reduce the air bubbles that get into the soap. Then I'm going to burp my stick blender. This gets any air that's trapped underneath the stick blender to come to the surface so we don't get lots of air bubbles in our final product. Then I'm going to mix for about 45 seconds, just till I get very light trace. Split this into 2 batches. You're looking for about 4 cups in each container. To the first batch, add a 1/4 ounce of Calendula petals. This is by weight and not by volume. These little guys are really light, so a 1/4 ounce by weight goes a long way. Then pour in 2 ounces of Yuzu fragrance oil. I'm over-scenting a little bit because I like an extremely strongly scented soap. Whisk this in, don't use a stick blender. Next, let's go to our second side. Add all of your pre-mixed yellow colorant. Whisk this in. Do you see how beautiful and buttery yellow this is? It's getting a little bit brighter. And now check this out. Add 2 ounces of orange 10-fold essential oil. Again, I'm scenting a little bit heavier because I really want this to be strong. Whisk this in. Can you see how much that orange 10-fold really just made the orange just pop? So beautiful. Now it's showtime. I like to make sure that each batch has 1 more mix just to ensure there's no graininess and everything looks really smooth. I've learned from experience that the soap turns out just a little bit better if you pour both sides of the colorant at the same time. One final check on our mold, make sure the pin's in, make sure it's really solid in the base. You can either pour both sides yourself or grab a friend to help you out. But remember, if you grab a friend, Safety first, gloves and goggles for your friend too. All right, you ready? Here we go. Finally, and you don't want to forget this part, pull the pin out and slowly take that middle divider out. Since we don't want to waste any soap, take a spatula, scoop all the soap off that divider, and then I just take both of what's remaining from the batches, pour them together, and I just top off that soap because I want to use all my soap. I don't want any to be left over at the end. Spray with 91% alcohol as a finishing touch. This helps prevent soda ash. Now it's up to you if you want to insulate or not. I find that with all of this wood that I don't need to insulate my soap at all and it still goes through gel phase. Totally up to you. If you do choose to insulate, just cover the top with a little bit of plastic wrap and then drape a towel over this. Let this sit undisturbed for a minimum of 3 days, if not longer. Unmolding with this mold, I won't lie to you, it's a little bit tricky. Of course, I think it's totally worth it because of the results. They are just great. Undo the wing nuts, and then this comes out nicely. You'll notice we've gotten just a little bit of soap on the bottom, but nothing major. Pull this out gently. Now, this does take a lot of core strength and a lot of patience. The first thing I do is I pull this over to the edge of my table. Then I slide or push the very bottom, the square part off. And once the airlock breaks, it's a lot easier. Never, ever, ever pull. If you pull, you run the risk of tearing your soap, which is very, very sad. Once the little square bottom part is done, it's time to work on the sides. Just push down and just keep pushing on one side until you break the airlock. Once you do that, you can kind of swirl and twirl and slide the divider off. Repeat this on the other 3 sides, and don't be surprised if you work up a sweat. Like I said, it's not the easiest to unmold, but it is worth it. I love the designs that this mold is capable of doing. This soap is out and it looks so gorgeous. You ready to cut? I am too, I'm kind of scared. All right, here we go. Ah. This looks amazing. Now I noticed a couple little drag marks from the calendula. That's totally normal. There's nothing you can do to prevent it, and I just think it adds to the unique and rustic nature of this bar of soap. I don't know about you, but I really love the yellow of the calendula and how it matches so wonderfully with the other side. It's just such a fresh and delightful soap. I am so happy with how this soap came out, and I hope you are too. Now the final step is to let this soap air dry and cure for 4 to 6 weeks. So put it in a well-ventilated area, making sure that there's airflow on all 4 sides. And if there's not, it's okay. Just make sure to keep turning the soap over so it gets airflow on all the sides. In 4 to 6 weeks, it's ready to use, sell, or give away. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Advanced Cold Process on Soap Queen TV. Until next time, happy soaping. Okay, I'm gonna put this back together so it doesn't all come cascading out and give us a really good blooper.